Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Susir Skanda Putri. I'm from Department 3 Management. My student ID is 21132900002. My lecturer is Mr. Bidantoro. Today I want to present about work-life balance, division of work and care, work-family conflict, well-being outcomes, work culture before and during lockdown, future preference or attitudes. Next, let's to the topic. First, work-life balance, division of housework and care. The division of housework in a heterosexual couple changes significantly during lockdown. Our survey asked of those who live with important people who they divide work activities into 6 categories, including working, cleaning, DIY, daycare routine, non-daycare, and children education. As shown in Figure 11, women do more. If not all, of almost all domestic or care means priority on COVID-19 lockdown with the exception of DIY and maintenance that is certainly more mature. We can see an improvement in couples where male couples emerge. Increase household chores or keep the lockdown results. Couples share the same job as couples do. Perhaps the biggest shift can be seen for cleaning where priority for lockdown. 65% of couples respond that female partners do more or all of it, which declines to 56% couples over closure. Further, majority 60% mothers do more, if not all, of nannies before COVID 19 lockdown, but the survival of this case is reduced to 47%. In other words, 53% of those whose parents both share or peer partners. This pattern lies in proportionate couples where women do more housework and care for babysitter. 16 thus doesn't mean that women don't have to do this task. When asking whether they do more or less housework or care, the majority of women are responsible that they do more. Cooking 55%, cleaning or washing 59%, regular children care 68%, child rearing 76% to their proportionate responsibility that they do more of these activities. Is particularly alarming when we consider the extent of the working mothers remembers their mass with their consequence for mental health. They even prioritize COVID-19 lockdown. It's not the same for men with less than half say they are for do much more of cooking 45% and clean up. Next, work family conflict. The COVID-19 lockdown has forced many employees to work from home and school culture left many having to juggle both housework or child care and their normal workload. This has led to a large proportion of employees feeling conflict and family life. 39% of all respondents that said that their job prevents them giving time to their family, and 30% of all respondents said that their family prevents them from giving time for their job. These proportions are much larger, larger, larger than has been found in previous studies before the COVID-19 lockdown. For example, in the 2015 European Working Condition Survey, 16% of employees felt that their job prevent them from giving time to their family or all or most of the time, although if we consider those who feel like this some of the time, this number goes up to 50%. On the other hand, Only 22% of employees felt that their family prevents them from giving time for their job at least sometimes, which is significantly lower than the proportionate employees feeling way in our survey showing that family to work conflict increased during the lockdown periods. Next, sharing parental leave and the impact on shared caring in lockdown reveals that fathers who had taken more than the statutory 2 week paternity leave alongside their partners following birth or adoption were likely to do more care beforehand after lockdown than their peers. For example, from our data, 50% of mothers whose partners have taken more than 2 weeks of leave responded that their partners were sharing or doing more of child care during the lockdown period. This is an important finding as it highlights the value of father taking more than 2 weeks leave after the birth or adoption of their child for encouraging more equality in child caring over time. Next, well-being outcomes. We also examine how patterns of work and work-life balance influence the well-being of respondents. Shows that a significant number of people rush or press for time or nervous and stress more than half the time in the past month. What we can also see in the parents, especially mothers, were much more likely to feel this way compared to the other groups, with 48% feeling worse or pressed and 46 feeling nervous and stressed for more than half the time during the past month. Interestingly, female non-parents were likely to feel as nervous and stressed 46% as mothers, although this was not the case for male non-parents. Examining the more positive effects of the lockdown, a similar patterns emerged. Women, especially mothers, report they haven't felt rest, active or vigorous or calm or relaxed in the month leading up to our data collection. When we considering the previous month, only 31% of mothers responded that they had woken up feeling fresh and rested, and only 32% respond that they have felt active or vigorous more than half the time, while 41% respond feeling almost relaxed more than half of the time in comparison for father, although only 33% report working and feeling and rest more than half of the time. 42% felt active and vigorous, and half felt calm and relaxed. However, the most people report feeling carefully with moment, more likely to feel this way more than half their time. Next, work culture before and during lockdown. The surveys also examined respondents' perception, work culture, and flexibilities. Having negative perception of those working flexibly or believing that flexible working and that negative career outcomes. Many of those who work from home during the COVID-19 lockdown believe that their manager should be supportive of working from home prior to lockdown 50%, but this increased dramatically during the lockdown with 90% saying their managers were supportive of home working. This increase has been seen across all groups in our data, with the large increase coming from mothers who didn't feel that there was much management for prior to the lockdown. In comparison, those who didn't work from home during the lockdown, possibly due to the fact that they work in specific sector where home working wasn't possible. They were much less likely to say that managers were supportive, but prior 20% and during 38% the lockdown. However, even within this group of employees, we can see there has been a considerable change in perceived management support for working from home. Next, future preference attitudes. Approximately two-thirds, so for respondents who were not parents, both male and female, and just over half and all parents in our survey believe that they will be working from home after COVID-19 lockdown has ended. Again, given the less than one-third for respondents did so prior to the COVID-19 lockdown, this is a remarkable increase. When asked why they would working from home, the number one item chosen by both parents and non-parents was to reduce commuting time, with more than 70% of all respondents choosing this option. Even that even that the average commuting time for UK employees in an hour's day three, with those in London spending on average 84 minutes a day on commuting for every day. Okay, next last feature, reverence attitudes. Balance through flexible working and reduction of working hours. This shows a clear need to help support parents, especially fathers, to ensure their demands for a better work-life balance are met through better accessory flexible working and working hours reduction without fear. Three-fourths of all parents say they would like to work off reproduction or their careers. What is more than three-fourths of respondents also they said they would like their parents to work flexibly in the future. 12% would like their partners to work from home. 23% flex time, while 40% said they would like their partners to work from partners to have both flex time and the ability to work from home in the future. Especially for mothers, fathers encourage capacity to take on more housework, and our roles may be a factor driving this result. Overall, we see a clear sign for a change in attitudes and preference around flexible working. That's all my presentation. I think that's enough for me. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.